the new callers, welcome to the family. Simply your place to not only get the motivation, but also receive some foundation on taking action on your goals and dreams. My name is Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant, and I have the privilege and the blessing of being the host for these Motivational Monday Night Calls. And on behalf of Mr. Brown and the team, we welcome you. Please visit letsbrown.com as well as visiting Mr. Brown on Facebook at brown.lets so you can stay in touch and get the updates on all the new and exciting ways in which Mr. Brown is changing the world. So we are privileged tonight because he is able to step away for a moment to share a word with us tonight. So Mr. Brown, welcome to the call, and it is so great to have you live and in living color on the Motivational Monday Night Call.
Well, thank you very much. It's a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege to be here. Can you feel it, brother? Up in here, up in here.
I sure enough can, and that's why I love you to the moon and back, and there's nothing you can do about that.
All right. Well, thank you. I should appreciate you so much.
Well, take it away.
All right. Thank you. I'm ready to go up in here now. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to me closely because a lot of people are thinking about the gifts they're going to give away and the gifts that they're going to receive. I want to talk to you about what gift should you give to yourself? What gift should you give to yourself? Now, one of the things that I believe, and I love quotes, and I'm sure you're aware of that if you've heard me speak, there's a quote that says, "To thine own self be true." And sometimes we can be out of alignment in some area of our life, mentally, physically, in terms of our relationships, in terms of our environment, that it really don't represent the highest that's in us, our circumstances, our financial situation. And I walked past a mirror the other day, and I looked at my peripheral vision, and I said, "Who's that?" I looked like I was 9 months pregnant. The water had broken. And it was time for me to deliver. I had to stop and say, wait a minute. It's an interesting thing how fat can creep up on you. I hate to go here, but my sister a few months ago called me a fat pig. She hurt my feelings. She didn't have to do that. She did not have to do that. Pray for her. I'm not going to tell you her name is Margaret Ann Sampson, but pray for her, okay? But she called me a fat pig, and I'm saying to her, I said, why would you call me a fat pig? And I'm Margaret Ann, come on. She calls me knucklehead. Knucklehead, you are a fat pig. And I looked in the mirror, and I didn't see it then. But so I'm coming out of the bathroom, and I go ahead, and I didn't see a fat pig, but I did look like I was 9 months pregnant, and it was time for me to deliver. So, I said, you know what? I'm not going down like this. I know that the extra weight around my waist exacerbates the situation for me to become free of cancer. I know that the extra weight around my waist, it exacerbates heart disease and diabetes. And I know this is not me. And so what I want to ask you, what gift are you going to give to yourself? And I decided this Christmas, I'm going to give myself the gift, and I've already started, of going to my ideal weight by February the 17th, which is my birthday. When I finish this call tonight, I'm going to Lifetime Fitness. And I'm going to be about restructuring my body. I'm going to get my sexy back. Come on, somebody. Not only that, I'm going to get my bottom teeth fixed. They are jacked up. I'm Les Brown. What am I doing with these crooked teeth at the bottom? You know, the top was they're great. But these bottom, I said, you know what? I'm not going to come into 2019 with some crooked teeth at the bottom. No. And I noticed that on other people. You know, I noticed people that I know, like Al Sharpton and other people I see on television. I'm looking at their little teeth, and then I look in the mirror and say, yeah, yours jacked up too. You know, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. So I will get my teeth fixed. And I'm going to reduce this waistline of mine. I'm committing myself to a regimen of yoga, aerobics, and qigong. I'm already a vegetarian. I dream about meat every night. I dream about chickens chasing me, and I'm walking real slow, hoping they'll catch up with me. I love chicken so much. Oh, boy. And, you know, this time of year, I smell sweet potato pie. You know, this is the time I really miss my mother. And everywhere I go, I find myself salivating at something being cooked. It probably could be chitlins, but in my own mind and imagination, I make it sweet potato pie. And I know that's because that's what my mother did around Christmas time and Thanksgiving. In fact, my son, Calvin, did a 23andMe search for himself, and he found some people that are our relatives. And one person is my first cousin, which means either her mother or her father is one of my parents. I think, isn't that the way it is? I think it. I'm not sure. But the thing is that he said, Dad, you ought to do the test too. I said, Calvin, I've got 5 daughters and 5 sons. I said, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know what else is going to come up. You know, when the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply, I took him seriously up in here. I saw a guy the other day at the airport. I want to come up to and say, what's your mama's name, man? Are you from Liberty City? But I didn't go there. But I was looking at him real strange. I was looking at him. So what gift are you going to give to yourself? And I'm giving myself the gift of increasing my exercise regimen, of committing myself, making a radical healthy lifestyle, and being engaged on a regular basis, getting a trainer to hold me accountable. And I'm committed to giving myself a gift. I'm not making any resolution on New Year's Day. No, this is a commitment. It's a resolve, something that I know I need to do for me. So this is crazy. So I'm committed to die young at an old age. Yeah, I believe I can make it to 110, 115. I believe I can make it and have all of my faculties. My mother was 89. So I plan to live like that by my exercise and by the things that I eat and the things that I don't eat. And so I spend most of my life giving to others and giving to my children. And I remember the quote that I love so much by Ian Levon Sant. Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. And I found myself just being positioned in my children's mind and some of my relatives as Mr. ATM. I submitted my resignation to them, and they all rejected it. I said, well, I quit anyhow. And so I said, I'm going to spend this time going forward. I'm going to give to me. And whatever they need, they're going to have to figure it out, just like I did. Figure it out. Draw the line. That's one of the gifts that I'm giving to myself. Draw the line. Because I've come to know people, friends, and relatives will use you up. Do you hear me? I'm not making this up. They will use you up. I remember when I was fired from WVKO radio station. Prior to my being fired, I used to get over 80 phone calls a day, not just at the station, but at home. People calling me about all types of things. I was a community activist. I was editorializing about police brutality before it was popular. I was talking about all types of community issues. I was involved in the community. I felt that radio should not just be a platform to entertain people, but it should be a platform that you can educate people and empower them and inspire them. If you talk to anybody in Columbus, Ohio, they'll tell you, yeah, they call me Les Brown, the man about town. They knew they can call on me and I would respond. I would be there. And when I was fired on September the 23rd, I'll never forget, the next day, I only got 2 calls. I dropped from 80 calls to 2 calls. And people who I'd helped and supported to get an office and help their various projects, the general manager at the station offered all of them a show on WVKO radio station. And I came out to the station in Upper Arlington with a picket sign said, "No more plantation station," because they didn't want me to do the types of things that I was doing, educating and empowering the community anymore. They said I was too controversial. And all of these people passed me saying, "Les, man, we love you, but you don't have the microphone anymore." And there I was standing out front with a sign by myself. No more phone calls. People will use you up. They will use you up. And they have short memories. And immediately, I remember a guy named Mike White who became the host of a show that I created called Voice of the People. Mike went on to Cleveland, Ohio, and became the mayor of Cleveland. He was a well-known community activist and student from Ohio State University. And he was among those who came on the air to seal my fate that I would not get back in radio in Columbus. And that was a tough time. That was a tough time for me. Give to yourself until your cup runs, and then give to others from the overflow. As you look into 2019, let me share something with you. I have access to information. I'm a former state legislator, and I have a lot of friends in high places. And financial analysts and economists are already predicting that next year will be a recession. So here's the next thing I'm going to suggest. The future belongs to those who prepare and create it. Start preparing now before you get into 2019. What are the things that you need to do to put a wall between you and financial hardships, to put a wall of protection for you and your family? If you were to get sick, if something were to happen to you, if you were to become one of those 20,000 people, according to the Department of Labor, that's losing their jobs every month in this country. What strategy? What plan do you have? And not only what must you plan for what your future is going to be and for what 2019 is going to be, in spite of the recession, is have a plan of action how you're going to create it in spite of what happens in the White House, in spite of what happens in the economy. You know, there's a Jamaican proverb that says, if you save your money will save you. It's time to put something aside. It's time to create a side hustle, several of them, because you can't have too much money. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And so I'm exploring a variety of options. Here's the next thing that's important. Not only must you begin to look at yourself and determine what plan of action do you need to navigate the recession next year if it comes, and having steps for what you're going to create and have a clear vision of what kind of year that you want for yourself. But the other thing is, get some coaching. In fact, I'm looking for 21 people. You know, 7 is my lucky number. 3 times 7 is 21. And I am so glad to be debt-free that I'm carving out time. We learn, we earn, and we pass it on. And I want 7 hungry people. I heard the guy Derek on the call. Boy, he has a voice. That's gold in that mouth of yours. Derek, that voice you have, brother, listen here. That can produce some money. I was saying, boy, I would love to work with that young man. I'm looking for 21 hungry people, 21 hungry people that are prepared to invest in themselves, who are going to be coachable, and that I'll be able to pour into them. We're going to take at least 3 trips together, and we're going to provide for you tools to transform your mindset and provide for you coaching on a monthly basis to help you to achieve your goals in all the areas of your life. And every month you will hear from me. Every month, every week, that you're going to be getting information that we will provide for you. We'll have Skype and Zoom calls, and 3 times in the year 2019, we will meet up personally and spend an immersion. I live in Atlanta now, in Alpharetta, right outside. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to. My goal is not to travel much, and I can afford to do it. I don't have any bills. I'm debt free. Only thing I deal with now, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, and trust me, it's a good feeling to be debt free, have no credit card bills and no debt. That's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful feeling. And so if there's something you want to do, I'm looking, and we're going to vet, because I don't want to work with everybody. Why? Less because everybody is not serious. You're not serious. First of all, most people don't want to even invest in themselves. I can tell you the number of people say, you know what? I would really like to make a deal with you if you just train me. Just let the Lord lead you to train me. I'll break you off something on the back end. Excuse me? So you want me to monetize your dream, and then you're going to give me something off on the back end. Why would I do that? As you sow, so shall you reap. Did you ever hear that? That means that as you give, according to what you give, according to your investment. See, most people want you to do more for them than they're willing to do for themselves. And I'm encouraging you, don't do that. Because if they have no skin in the game, it doesn't mean anything. How can you say you want to go out and motivate people to reach beyond their comfort zone and you're not willing to do it yourself? See, recessions restores resourcefulness. So I say, well, I don't have it. Then find it. Make a way out of no way. That's what Mamie Brown did. She adopted 7 children, took us in as foster kids originally. And she didn't have a clue on how she was going to do it. She never had any children. I was among the 7. And she said to my birth mother, they'll never go to bed hungry. There will always be food on the table, a roof over their heads, and clothes on their back. 3rd grade education. Worked for families on Miami Beach, cleaning their homes, cooking for them, keeping their children, and wait the food left over, what she cooked. Mamie, whatever food is left over, you can take it home to those children that you have adopted. I remember when I had my talk show, and a reporter asked her, how did you know you could raise 7 children by yourself, and you never had any children? And this is what guides my life now. She said, I just believe the Lord will make a way somehow. Come on now. There's some things that you can do. Don't judge according to appearances because the stakes are high. Don't judge according to appearances because you don't have the money right now. Don't judge according to appearances based upon your past. That has nothing to do with who you are. Forgetting those things which are behind, reaching forth unto those things which are before, and press toward the mark of the higher calling. There's a higher calling for you. Don't allow your circumstances to define you. You're made in the likeness and image of God. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. Those are not just letters on a page. Come on now. It really, Scripture to most Christians is fake news. Oh, be best. Because be ye not just hearers of the word, be ye also doers of the word. More poverty in church than any place else. I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me, except pay my bills, and except invest in myself, except create my own economy, except control my own financial future, except travel around the world, except develop a strategy to allow me to protect myself and my family and spend more time with the people that I care about. and take care of my health. How can he say that? How can he say that? Except get this weight off me. Come on, Les, how can you say that? You've been given authority and dominion over everything. You get on the scale at Cancer Centers of America 2 days ago, and scale said 272 pounds. You know that's not you. You are over 100 pounds overweight. Went to the store and tried to put a coat on, just got one arm in, and that coat talked to me and said, don't even think about it. Back away. Get away from the rack. And I went to that, what do you call that store, big and tall or whatever. And I sat in the parking lot for a long time, and I just pretty soon got out the car and dropped my head and walked in. And what I said to myself to comfort myself, this is the last time. I ain't coming back here no more. I'm going to get this weight off me. I'm going to get it off. Yeah, whatever. Keep your commitment to your commitment. Prepare for 2019. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. No prior planning brings about a pretty poor performance. Prepare right now. Don't just get caught up in the hoopla about Christmas. At this time, focus on you. You are a gift to the world. God chose you out of 400 million sperm. He had a lot of choices, but there's something that you have. You were chosen on purpose for a purpose and sent here. I believe that. I believe I was sent here to speak. I believe I was sent here to motivate you. I believe that I was sent here to encourage people. I believe as I look back on my life, I realize that there's some things that happen to you, but you grow in consciousness and you realize it happened for you. It happened for me. That as a result of that struggle, I'm reminded of a little boy going through a park, and there was a tree, this large park, and there was a tree, and he looked up. There was a butterfly trying to get out of a cocoon, and it was struggling, and he watched. It was struggling and struggling and struggling, and he stood there and watched in amazement and childish curiosity. And pretty soon the butterfly escaped its cocoon, dropped to the ground, flapped its wings, and flew off. And he was amazed. That's the first time he ever saw that. And then sometime later in another part of the park, he saw the same process about to take place again. A butterfly was coming out of the cocoon, and it just got its head out, and it was struggling. It was taking time. And he naively took a safety pin out of his pants and decided to make it easier for the butterfly to drop out, and made a little incision and a little opening, and the butterfly fell to the ground, flopped its wings, and died. Because the struggle itself gave the other butterfly life. That's what that quote means. It says, in life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. It's a God-ordained opportunity. You've been picked out to be picked on because there's something in you. No guts, no glory. Something in you. And we are here to define ourselves, not our circumstances, not the things that have happened to us, not the wrongs that have been done to us, to define ourselves. I saw a guy with a T-shirt that said, Don't let Trump cause you to get your behind whooped. I said, oh, behave. I was cracking up. Oh, boy, I'm just playing, but I'm serious. I understand and identify with that. Oh, this is wake-up time. This is no time to be asleep. No. And when things happen, and we're going through chaos, we're going through a stressful time, and we're facing crises after crises. And crises in the Chinese language means danger, but it also means opportunity. Opportunity to show up. Opportunity, therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, faith, determination, perseverance, strength. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that having done all, to stand. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for being. I remember when I was at Ohio State University Hospital, they gave me a test, and they inject this solution in you, and when you take this particular test, this MRI, it will light up. If it runs into cancer, it will light up. And I remember coming back 3 days later, and a young man who performed the test, and I had another test, and he came down the hall. And I said, you have any news for me? And his eyes got teary. He said, man, you've been like a father to me. You didn't even know it. But I saw you here. He said, I prayed to God that you would be all right. And he said, you have cancer. I said, well, don't stop praying. I said, keep on praying. I said, stuff happens to everybody. I said, there's a difference me having cancer and cancer having me. I said, I got this. And the gift from it made me become conscious of my time. I was talking to a young lady named Stephanie Parker, Valerie's daughter. She said when she's talking to somebody and they interrupt her and go on talking for about 3 or 4 minutes with nonsense and having no content that was worth listening, she asked them, what are you going to do to help me to recover the 5 minutes that I wasted listening to you? I said, whoa. She said, my time is valuable. You said absolutely nothing. Tell me what you're going to do for me so I can regain that time. And I said, what did they say? She said, they just get quiet. And I told them, hey, this conversation is through now. Take care. She said, you're right, Les. You're going to lose something, lose money. Don't lose time. Give yourself the gift of not letting people use you, deplete your resources, and most importantly, waste your time. Give yourself the gift of making a commitment that you're going to grow mentally, you're going to develop a strategy so you can be here, so you can die at an old age, that you're going to improve your health, that you're going to eliminate stress out of your life, because stress produces dis-ease in the body. Give yourself the gift of saying, you know what? I'm going to have more energy and more stamina and peace of mind because I'm going to be intentional about taking care of me first. Ian Van Sant. Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others. from the overflow. That's a wonderful gift. And that quote that she has given us, I love her and I admire her, and tell her I said hello. But I'm encouraging you, think about you now. It's about you. It's about you. When Cancer Centers of America looked at me 3 weeks ago and said, you've been dealing with fourth-stage cancer for quite a while now. And I heard one voice that said, you got this. The other one said, hey, you got this now. You got to focus on you. You've got to give to yourself. You got to take better care of yourself. You've got to begin to make the main thing, because if you don't focus on protecting yourself, you're going to be out of here. I said, whoa. And they'll just go to the next one. They'll just go to the next. So he's going, oh, boy, we're going to miss him. You got to be hungry. I remember him, Mamie Brown's baby boy. Yeah. Next. And I'm going to sit up in my casket and say, whatever. You got to be hungry. Oh, my God. My medication wearing off. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Stacy?
Mr. Brown, what are we going to do?
I need some help, baby.
I'm sorry, audience. He didn't take all his meds today. Woo, sweet Mariah. But it's the truth anyhow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
well, thank you for the message. You know, so much of what you said is so appropriate. People are planning on resolutions and what they're going to do. Give to yourself. Like that one right there, as the folk in the church would say, that could preach.
Yeah.
Give to yourself. Because who are you helping if you are not putting the oxygen mask on your face first, as they tell you on the airplane? You got to give to yourself and truly understand that the future belongs to those who prepare and create it. And people sitting around waiting for some magic wand to go over their head or a pot of gold to drop in their lap. It don't work that way, in case they didn't get the memo.
Right. And this is an incredible time in history. It's incredible. Let me give you an example of where we are. A company called me, and they came in to meet with me. And they had recorded 4 hours of my videos on the internet. And they brought a camera in and projected on the wall. They created a hologram with my likeness and said, ask yourself a question. I said, what? I said, that's me. He said, ask yourself a question. He said, you know Siri? Yes. Well, this is Les Brown. Les Brown, what do you mean by larger vision? And the hologram said, because they had collected these recordings with my voice from my recordings. Larger vision is a vision you have beyond your circumstances and mental conditioning. Larger vision means that you engage in a process to decrease your level of unconscious self-loathing and increase your sense of self-love. And he looked at me and said, Mr. Brown, when you're gone, you will still be teaching classes. You'll leave something for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and your great-great-great-grandchildren. People in the future will be able to see Les Brown in action. I was speechless.
Wow.
You know that thing they did with Tupac and Michael Jackson? Yeah, I was speechless. This is where things are. Technology, it took my breath away. And they said, all we need you to do It's just really gave me some scripts and gave me some things to answer outside of what they couldn't get off the recording. And the most likely things that people will ask me. And they went through my emails and got information, and they quantified that and put it together. Isn't that mind-blowing?
That is amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is where we are. This is where we are. We are in a different place in history. People are being replaced by artificial intelligence, holograms. In 2019, I'll give most of my presentations from my living room because technology eliminates geography. People are going into hotels and meeting rooms and experiencing a church service. They don't even, most people are just looking at church online or going to a hotel and looking at it with a big screen, and some of them have a choir there. Things have changed. Technology has changed. And so that's why it's important to have a coach who's achieved and who's making some stuff happen, who has connections and relationships and resources and contacts, and who can help you to establish credibility and put your success on steroids. Yeah, this is a new day. I just want 21. Email me at lesbrown77@gmail.com. If you're ready to invest in yourself and ready to be coached and want to be among those 21 people that I'm going to work with for 1 year, guaranteed, I'm going to guarantee it. Guarantee you it will change your life. It's going to change your income. Your life will be radically changed. One of the first things that I learned from Mr. Washington, upgrade your relationships. OQP, only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. Don't hang around people who know less than you and who have less than you, because they will bring you down. Water seeks its own level, to their level. No. You want to be around people who won't drain you. You want to be around people who are not emotional vampires. You want to be around people that you can learn from, that you can grow mentally and emotionally and spiritually. That's the name of the game. And then what about people who are poor? Well, Jesus said, all power is in my hands. Oh, by the way, the poor will always be among you. Be with that, because it's a choice. Ignorance is a choice today. Poverty is a choice today. It's a choice. People do what they want to do. They buy what they want and beg for what they need. It's a choice. Let them live with their choices. And when they get sick and tired of being sick and tired, until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, they will never change. It's okay, even if you're children. That's their journey. You never read anywhere where the prodigal son's father went searching for him. He waited for him to come to himself. Wow. Oh, behave. That brought a grunt out of you.
Woo, Mr. Brown, you are fire tonight. I know many of folks will not be able to go to sleep the same as how they woke up after you stirred up a word inside of them. So those 20 people, and you were talking about DeAndre earlier. He's had a chance to meet you in person, and I'll definitely tell DeAndre he needs to connect if he wants to be in that number.
And Derek, DeAndre and Derek. That's the young man they call after DeAndre. And listen, are you ready for this?
What? I'm not ready. I'm ready. I stay ready.
You remember when I used to do over 100 push-ups on stage?
Oh, boy. You about to bring that back, Mr. Brown?
I'm back. Uh-oh. Let the rest show. I am back. Homie ain't playing. Homie ain't playing.
Watch out now.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Thank you. Take care. I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
I love you more.
All right,
Ladies
take
and
care.
gentlemen, take care, Les. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard him live and direct. This call was even more powerful than last week, and you were giving your takeaways from the message last week. So we're going to do the same thing so Mr. Brown can hear what you took away, what resonated with you, what action are you going to take. So not only just enjoying and listening to him, but what are you going to do as a result of hearing the word. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to have an incredible holiday and continued blessings for the new year. Like I said, next Monday, by the grace of God, we'll come on just to wish everyone happy holidays on Christmas Eve, but it won't be a full call. To all of you that have been here every single week, year in, year out, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support, your participation, but more importantly, your action towards your goals and your dreams. So on behalf of Mr. Brown and the entire team, have an awesome rest of the week and an even better 2019. Bye-bye for now, everyone.